Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. Man, I just realized how bad I sound right now. But I am back, and I'm here to talk about Bitcoin's most bullish month. It is about to start tomorrow. So what can we expect, and why is it so bullish, and what else is going on in the world today? So let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Obviously, I've not been live streaming for the last 3 days because I was down in Fort Lauderdale hosting or co-hosting CypherPunk, which actually turned out to be a fantastic event. A lot of people, met a lot of fans, met a lot of other influencers, also heard about a lot of projects, right? And had a great time hanging out with people that I enjoy hanging out with, right? So overall, it's really good, and I'll have more content coming out. I did record a lot of panels. I posted one yesterday about CRU Plus, right? Had a good time talking with Josh and Blockchain Boy, and I'm ready talking to others that could be potential hosts for CRU Plus. So a lot more to come, but obviously the channel's out, and the next video will be coming out soon. But yeah, it was a good thing. It was a great time, and hopefully I'll meet more of you guys in the future as I plan out more conferences, including my big one, WAG 2024, which should be July of next year. Okay, now, with that said, moving forward, today is the last day of September, okay? Very last day of September, and September has not been bad. People, when we started September, people were saying, well, September is like the worst month for Bitcoin, right? That is true. But if you look at it, we had a horrible August, and we had a bad July too. So it's kind of hard to have many consecutive months of downturns, right? So we did recover slightly, about plus 4%. Bitcoin right now is at 27,000, right? And trending upwards. So right now, it's looking pretty darn good. But what looks even better is what starts tomorrow, October. Look at the returns for October. Last year, even in 2022, which was an absolutely horrible year, we still had like a 5.5% gain in October. And the year before that, the parabolic year, we had almost a 40% jump. And even the year before that, the halving event year, was 28%. And the year before that, it's 10%, right? So you could see October is a very good month for Bitcoin. It's not just Bitcoin too. For markets in general, people are starting to buy equities as well before the Santa rally, right? We usually see equities skyrocket in November, December. So that's why a lot of people start buying October. So are we going to see that this time around too? I think so. I think there's nothing stopping Bitcoin. Look at how consistent, how stable it has been for the last few months. Nothing is pushing it down. It actually, in fact, decoupled away from the DXY and decoupled away from markets, right? Like, it is rock steady right now, right? Which means it just takes a little bit before it just starts moving, right? And I think October is going to do that. So here's another look at October. If you look at the daily performance of Bitcoin, okay, of all Octobers averaged together, you'll see that first week, there might not be any movement, but after the first week, you start moving a lot every single day, right? That is absolutely fantastic. Here's another look, right? If you look at all the months, April, May, June tends to be really bad. August, September tends to be bad, right? But the most bullish month, of course, is October. And then we have November and December, which they're good months too, because again, people are buying anticipation of the Santa rally that's coming, right? So this is all pretty good. This is all pretty good. And I think we will continue to have some gains this October and remaining of this year. And of course, you guys heard me talk about a lot of stuff, right? A lot of macro stuff, and I have some of that to share too. But we have the quadfecta year coming up, okay? We don't have that many months left in 2023. We are about to start 2024. We got a lot of ETF news. We got rate pauses and cutting coming up, the presidential election, of course, the halving event, right? We got a lot of things going on, and this is where we are. If you look at where we are, all previous cycles, they rhyme. They look very similar. We see similar bottoms, similar accumulation phases, and similar rises, right? And that is what we are about to see soon as we head into 2023, right? By the end, 2024. By the end of 2023, it would not surprise me if Bitcoin is back above 30,000, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we form a new high for this year, like 35,000, 36,000, somewhere around there, and then we move into 2024, right? But this is the pattern. This is what Bitcoin has been doing since the very beginning, right? People just don't realize that. People think, no, it must be this or that and that. It could be. Obviously, there's some external factors, but overall, what it's doing is what it has been doing forever, which is basically go through these points in the cycle, right? If you look at right now, you can see very similar to 2020, 2014 to 2016, 2017, 2020, right? Where we have this peak, and then we retest it a couple times. We have this trend line that Bitcoin can't seem to break until it does, and then it moves forward, right? Again, we're looking at that right now. So when in October we get some bullish movement and we break through it, well, that's when things really start moving, right? So again, this is a time to be greedy. This is not the time to be bearish or fuddish or whatever else that's negative. This is the time to be greedy. This is the time right before things really start moving. Here's something interesting, kind of like a macro look of Bitcoin. If you look at a 10-year return of all currencies out there versus the dollar, you can see almost every single currency out there is actually losing against the dollar, right? This is the reason why, even though we get so much dollars being printed every single year, and now even every single month, it's still holding relatively well because other currencies are just doing worse. But you know what's better than the dollar? Bitcoin. Over the last 10 years, 21,000% gain on top of the dollar. This is why Bitcoin is still considered the best hedge against inflation, the greatest store of value, because of this. Okay, a lot of people focus year to year or even month to month, week to week. When you focus on a decade to decade basis, which you really can't do because Bitcoin hasn't been around for 2 decades yet. But if you do, you'll realize that nothing can beat Bitcoin. Nothing can beat Bitcoin. All right. But there are a lot of other promising crypto out there, of course, right? Bitwise already announced they will have Ethereum future ETFs launching in October as well. Again, the most bullish month, right? I guess they got approval for it. This is not spot Ethereum ETF. This is the future-based one. So Bitwise thinks it already got approval because I don't remember hearing it. But anyways, so that could be a good thing for Ethereum, right? A lot of it. This shows you institutional interest. Otherwise, these fund companies would not be coming out with Ethereum-based ETFs, right? But there are a lot. There's a lot out there. And there are some that are with Bitcoin and ETH together, but you could see there's a lot that are just ETH in general. So a lot of institutional interest out there. And that's also something we never ever seen before in previous cycles. Big institutions that are really ready to jump in, and that's going to bring in billions of billions and billions and billions and billions and trillions into the market, right? All right, and then you got Google Cloud, which is joining Polygon as a validator. That's always fantastic. That means there's a serious partnership brewing between Google and Polygon, right? So that's also fantastic. And then, I usually start out with macro stuff first, but I'm going to do it at the end because despite everything I said, right, there's some worries about what's going to happen with the U.S. Government, right? Because today is the final day before Congress figures something out, because if they don't, there's going to be a government shutdown. Okay. The budget, even though we don't have a debt ceiling anymore, there's a lot of things in the budget that both sides disagree upon. And if they can't come up with some kind of resolution today, tomorrow the government will shut down and everyone gets sent home, right? But is this the first time it has happened? No. We have seen many times before when the government can't come to a consensus, it shuts down, but it's never a good thing, right? It's not something that you want. And no one wants this because they go home unpaid. But no one wants this to happen because then it's not just Congress, but a lot of government officials, a lot of government employees will no longer be able to get paid, right? And it's just embarrassment overall. You know, our credit rating already for most agencies already went down from AAA to AA, right? The last agency that still has the U.S. with the AAA rating is Moody's, and they said they'll probably downgrade after tomorrow, right? And having a bad credit rating sucks. And that means higher interest for everything. It's harder for U.S. to borrow, right? Because it's less trustworthy, right? But why do we have this problem? Why do we have this? Because of overspending once again. It all relates to money and how to manage the money and how to print more money, right? And how to distribute the more printed money. I mean, it always comes down to the same thing. We are operating in a model where we have to continuously borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow. We're not operating like a healthy business. We're not trying to figure out how to cut costs and increase revenue and therefore increase profits. No, we're operating basically at an unsustainable unsustainable rate where we are basically accruing debt at an unsustainable rate. So we just keep spending. We're not cutting. We're not making any more. We just keep spending and spending and spending and spending and spending and spending. And therefore, we need to print more money or borrow more money by issuing bonds. Those are the only two ways to make money. And that's why our debt is growing by hundreds of billions per month, adding to trillions per year. That is how bad it's gotten. This is why we need Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin, like I said, is the best hedge against inflation, because even though other currencies are suffering worse devaluation of their fiat, the US dollar also is devaluing your wealth every single year through inflation, right? That's why we need to hold something better like Bitcoin. And with October right around the corner, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So we'll see what happens on Monday, whether Congress agrees on something or they go into shutdown. But in the meantime, I'm looking forward to October starting and seeing what Bitcoin does this October. It could be absolutely fantastic. All right, let's do some Q&A. I'm gonna keep this one short. I am actually not sick. I'm just too tired and too much yelling at those late night clubs. Yeah, I was hanging out with a lot of people I met, a lot of new people, a lot of old friends. You know, we're going out every night, so I wasn't doing so well. It's hard to party when you're 40. But yeah, I think I just need some rest. So we'll keep Q&A nice and short today. But there'll be I'm gonna be putting out more content this weekend on the Clip channel and this main channel around some of the stuff that I recorded at the conference. right, let's see. Eduardo, does an extra long bear season, like the one we just had, imply extra long? It could. Doesn't mean an extra long bull season, but it means a recovery, a bounce could be massive, right? We could recover really quick because of how long Bitcoin has been suppressed. That could certainly happen. Best food I had on a trip so far, to be honest, we ate at the conference every single day, so I didn't really even go out to eat at all. I didn't go to any restaurants at all. I ate lunch and dinner at CypherPunk. Josh, I can't answer that question. And you know why. Nate got keys. Hey man, love your videos. But yeah. Miami's a really fun city. It's a really fun city. If you're looking to have some fun, you want some good food, good conferences, good beaches, um, good night activity. I mean, it has it all. If you could stand the humidity. Speedy, there used to be girls with daddy issues on this channel. I Not on this channel, no. No. Crypto Hound. Yep. Um I have to decide what to do with WAG 2024. I already have venues kind of selected. I have a budget. I just don't know how big to go. In my mind, I want to go big, but I saw how CypherPunk was. It was probably around 400 people, 500 people, and that's a good size. I don't mind it to be a little bit bigger, maybe 1,000-person conference or something like that per day. Um, I was originally planning like huge, like 3 to 5,000, which I think is too big for a first time conference. So I have to reevaluate things. But I'm looking forward to WAG 2024. And that'll be in Nashville right after Bitcoin 2024. So I already started talking to people about that. Gaming crypto projects. Well, I invited some and they showed up. Um, I think DeFi Kingdoms, even though they're like down majorly, the people within DFK are fantastic, and I have become a advisor for them. WAGME Games as well, someone new, relatively new, but I know the people very well, very passionate people. So interesting. I know Vulcan as well, right? With everything that's going on, the funny thing about Gala is Gala people love Gala. Gamers love to play Gala games, right? And they seem to be still the biggest gaming platform out there, but it's hard to invest in them when the founders are suing each other, right? So if you take them out of the equation, well, hopefully they resolve it so you don't have to take them out of the equation. But after that, you got like someone like Vulcan too, and I know Jamie, not as well as I know the other projects, but he's a good, solid dude. And Vulcan is doing major things with their new chain, right? So I think gaming will be fine. It's just right now, the existing projects are still building, but I know that there are a lot of really good games that are about to come out too. They're more like Web 2 games, and they're incorporating Web 3 features, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because ultimately with games, you need to have the users, right? You need to have a ton of users coming in. I have not opened up tickets yet, but maybe I should. Maybe I should start selling tickets for WAG 2024. That would not be a bad idea. Yeah, that way I can fundraise a little bit to pay the event planner and the conference hall and stuff. Nate, I'm going to start working on that. Check on Sol. Okay, it's up. It's up 5%. Sol guys, so a lot of guys are like so desperate. So whenever there's a little pump, they're like, yay. But, Solana and Cardano, they're going to be neck and neck for a while. I don't think that's going to change. George Z, how much of your BTC bag will you sell by the next bear market? I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to sell or keep my cash pile around 30%. Maybe I go up a little bit, 35%, 40%, right? But that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to try to time the top. I'm just going to make sure my cash pile is enormous, right? So as it goes up, I'm going to start selling, make sure my cash pile is that much. And then that's it. That's it. I believe in long-term holding, and I know a lot of people think that's stupid. A lot of people, especially trader, will say, "Well, why would you want to hold, right? Just sell it on the top and buy on the bottom." That's much easier said than done. No one knows truly what the top is or what the bottom is, right? But I truly believe that if you believe in what you're holding, obviously you need cash to be able to DCA and buy the dips. So as long as you keep your cash pile high, and that forces you to take profits, right? Because as everything goes up, your cash pile percentage is going to decrease. But if you keep that high, like 30, 35, 40% in cash, then it's okay if things come back down and you're just go DCA into it again. So obviously, if you want to take some profits out completely and cash out to buy your, pay off your mortgage, pay off your cars or whatever, right? That's fine. But, I don't think I'll ever sell out 100% of my crypto. Maybe in 2025, after Bitcoin hits like 300,000 or something, and I said I'm going to retire, maybe I'll sell a little bit more then, but still, I don't think I'll ever sell out anywhere close to 100% of what I have. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. My voice is not getting any better by talking more. So enjoy your Saturdays, okay? Look forward to October, Pumptober, okay? It is going to be good. We'll see what the government shut down, whether or not they really shut down. I don't think anyone wants it to go shut down, but ultimately know that it's being shut down because of irresponsible spending. That's what it comes down to, right? But focus on Bitcoin, the greatest store of value, the greatest hedge against inflation that we have, right? Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Hopefully my voice is back then. I'll have a lot of great content for you guys to watch this weekend. So have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.